What is going on, everyone? It's Super here, and welcome to another Injustice 2 video. And it's been a while. Well, actually, it hasn't been a while. It just feels like it's been a while since I've actually done a normal, regular commentary talking about Injustice 2, because the beta's been out for the last, at this point, 5 days from when you guys are watching this video. It went live right after the Combat Cast or the Watchtower, whatever you want to call it. I just like calling it Combat Cast. It sounds better, in my opinion. But the beta went live for the first wave of beta codes that were sent out. And I'll be 100% honest with you guys. I signed up immediately. Literally the first 5 minutes that the sign up page for the beta was up, I signed up. And I still have not received my beta code, even though they have sent out wave number 2 for beta code. So I haven't even gotten my beta code that I used or that I registered for. So I feel you guys. I was fortunate enough to receive a beta code from a fan of mine who wasn't going to use it because he didn't have PSN. So he gave me his beta code. Thankfully, because if not, I wouldn't have been able to get a lot of this gameplay that you guys are seeing here. And I've been streaming Injustice 2 for, like 4 straight days, which is crazy for me because I normally just stream on the weekends. So if you guys do enjoy the Injustice 2 gameplay, Injustice 2 beta gameplay, and all the content that I've been making, make sure you guys leave a like rating on this video. Let's hit over 500 likes. That would be awesome. But now let's get on to what the video is about. It's pretty much like my review of the Injustice 2 beta so far. I've been playing it, I don't want to say non-stop, because the only time that I have played the Injustice 2 beta is when I'm streaming. But I have streamed, let's say, 4 days in a row for about 3 to 5 hours. So I put in a good amount of time. I think I'm like level 28, something like that. Let's just say I put in a good amount of time into the Injustice 2 beta, enough to form a good opinion on what I like and what I don't like about the Injustice 2 beta so far. So let's start off with the positives, of course. You want to be positive first, and then we'll go negative afterwards. So the number one positive about this game is that it looks gorgeous. It's easy on the eyes. They don't have like a grayish filter like they've had in previous games. Like MKX does not look like it looks in my videos, because I actually have, specific color corrections on my capture cards. So everything looks a lot brighter and a lot colorful. So if you go to MKX and just compare my video to how MKX normally looks, and you could tell that there's like a grayish filter on MKX. This game doesn't have that. It has nice colors, it's bright. I like that about this game. Graphics, the facial features, this game looks ultra realistic, which is going to be weird when you look at some of the characters. But Batman looks amazing in this game, man. He is probably the best that he's looked, in any fighting game. Well, I guess he's only been in MK versus DC and Injustice 1, but he looks amazing in this game. Superman, I'm still a little iffy on the way he looks. I think they made him, they try to make him look like Henry Cavill a little bit more than he used to, because if you compare how he looks now to how he used to look, he looks a little bit more like Henry Cavill. But the graphics look great. Gameplay wise, for the most part, the gameplay is smooth. I'll get to one of my negatives about the gameplay a little bit later, but for the most part, the gameplay is very smooth. The online is good. I've played a couple laggy matches, but I mean, you can't avoid people with bad internet connection. Not only that, but there are a lot of people who are from Europe, for example. So they're across the pond, and they are playing on a North American, PSN, so they could get access to this beta because it's only for North American players. So there might be some trouble there, but there hasn't been too many lagging matches. So I'm happy with the netcode so far. I definitely think it's going to improve and it's going to get better. I hope it does, because even though it's good, I don't think it's as good as Mortal Kombat X yet. But the netcode feels like, they're definitely in the right direction. And that's one of the reasons why they made this beta. Let's see. Another thing, the combos look awesome. Supergirl has my favorite combo in the game so far with her corner combo where you fly and unfly. Combos look great. When you hit someone, you actually feel it. Like with Superman, if you hit someone with a back three or just a regular combo, and then you back three them or you do some resets, you actually feel, like you're doing some damage to the opponent. So that's great. The game pretty much feels like, it feels like Injustice, which I guess for me it's like neutral because I never played Injustice 1, but players who have played Injustice 1, you could tell. Like, I've played some guys who just know immediately how to play Injustice 2 because the game is pretty much almost identical to the first Injustice game. So whenever you play versus someone who's just like moving around very fluidly and just knows how to play the game, they probably played a lot of Injustice 1 before, and it's just muscle memory. They remember how to play it, or maybe they've been playing it in preparation for this, and they just like dominate. And it's it's very cool for those players who love Injustice 1 and kept playing it. They get rewarded because now they come in here and the game just like clicks for them. So for me, like, that's neutral because, like I mentioned, I never really played Injustice 1, so this game feels brand new to me, to be honest with you guys. But the little time that I have played Injustice, I could definitely tell, like, Superman, Batman, almost the same characters. Supergirl and Atrocitus, though, are very, very fun. It was fun for me to learn those characters because of their playstyle. Supergirl is all about pressure. She's all about pressure. She's all about mix-ups. She's all about frame traps. When she does one of her combos mid-screen, she ends in the air grab, and it leaves you at a perfect spot to do a jumping punch or jumping kick, whatever you want to do. And depending on if you're maybe a little bit closer to your opponent or a little bit further away, it might cross up or it might stay in front. So it's an ambiguous cross-up right there. And of course, in Injustice 2, you have to hold back to block. So Supergirl, very, very interesting. The fly-on-fly combos are awesome. Zatanna in Injustice 1 had stuff like that, where she would fly and unfly. And I thought those combos were some of the best in Injustice. And Supergirl is retaining that in Injustice 2. Like, her combos are so much fun to do. It's not, to be honest, it's not really hard, but it just looks cool. And Atrocitus looks awesome. He has one of the best supers in the game. I definitely like that. The voice actor does a really good job, man. Every time that the super comes up, I'm like, damn, this voice actor is great. And like I mentioned, the visuals of the game, everything about it visually looks amazing. So those are my positives for Injustice. It just looks great. The gameplay is pretty fluid, and now I'll go into my negatives. And I guess I'll go into more. Wait. I forgot one positive for me, but a negative for a lot of people. So this is actually a positive for me, all right? This is gonna be my last one. The gear system. So the gear system is a touchy subject amongst a lot of people right now. I've heard this a lot. Injustice 2 is broken. Injustice 2 is broken because of the gear. And I will say that the boost that the gear gives you as far as like power, defense, ability, all that, it definitely does break the game. But for me, as a casual fan, as someone who just wants to get in here and have fun, the most overpowered things are, in my opinion, the most fun. The most broken stuff is the most fun. I grew up playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2, where Magneto, Psylocke, Sentinel, Storm, all these characters were insanely overpowered, and they were so much fun to play. I don't know, that's just me, but a lot of people are saying that, the gear breaks Injustice 2. There is a competitive mode, but the way that the game is at the moment, both players actually have to agree to play competitive mode in order to negate the effects of the gear. So I don't know if NetherRealm is going to change this when the full game comes out and just make it a default for ranked playing competitive mode, or if they're gonna have the same option. We're gonna have to wait and see, because a lot of people that I've run into, they actually want to play, with the gear and their new moves for their Superman, their Batman, their Atrocitus, and I did too. I rarely play competitive mode. I mean, if someone wants to play competitive mode with me, I'll play it. I'll play it with them and stuff. But If it's up to me, I want to play with my new moves and, you know, my blood push for Atrocitus, or I don't have it yet, but the unblockable super for Superman, which you're probably not going to see too often because Superman, you know, uses meter for a lot of things. So the super's like the last thing on your mind, right? But you just want to have things like that. And we're going to have to wait and see when the game comes out. But that is a positive for me. I really like the way the gear system is structured. But hey, that's just me. Let me know what you guys think about the gear in the comments section. But now let's talk about some dislikes here. My number one dislike is the delay on certain moves for your character, and also the block stun and the way your character feels like he's just sitting in quicksand sometimes. So if you guys have played the Injustice 2 beta, you guys will probably know what I'm talking about. If you go back to watch my first Injustice 2 video with Superman, I got someone in a combo and I dashed up and back 3'd, and after the dash, my character just stood there. Like, the back 3 did not come out, he just stood there, and it felt like I was in quicksand. My character didn't want to do the move that I wanted him to do because there's like such a huge delay, and I was shocked. I was like, what the hell? This feels so weird. You could literally go to that video and see like the whole first match. I'm like, this feels so weird. And I don't know if this is an early build and that's fixed. Hopefully that's fixed when the game comes out, but sometimes I want to do a move and my character just refuses to do the move. And something else that I really don't like about Injustice 2 is the block stun. Like, if I jump in kick with one of my characters and I try to do a move like a combo string, only the first part will come out, and then the other parts won't come out because I'm like buffering it. I do like a jump and punch, and then I buffer the combo string. The way it works in Injustice, you have to actually manually press the buttons after you jump in. If not, if you try to buffer in your move, it's not going to come out. And I really don't like that, to be honest. I like the smoother feel of a game like Mortal Kombat X. Like, I don't need the block stun to be ridiculous. Like, I don't need to guarantee myself a 50-50 or pressure if I jump in on someone. I just want my moves to come out. Like, if they down one me, it's fine. It's completely fine. But I just want my moves to come out because there's been many times where I jump in kick. And I try to do, for example, for Superman, I try to do forward 2-3. And only forward 2 comes out, and then, you know, I'm just sitting there. My character's just sitting there, and I'm like, where's my move? Where's my move? So I've had a lot of problems like that in Injustice 2. Another thing is the input leniency is way too strong, man. It gets to the point where you actually get annoyed that the inputs come out so easily. So let me give you an example. If I'm holding down to block, if I'm holding like down back to block a specific move or maybe a down poke that my opponent's doing, and then I want to do a forward 2 with Superman, instead of getting a forward 2, my down input from blocking before is going to be reserved, and when I press forward, I'm going to get Superman's like flying special move, and guess what? I land on the other side, I'm recovering from my move, I get punished for 40%. So that's something that I really have a huge complaint for, because I turned everything off. I turned off release check, I turned off input shortcuts, and I still get that problem on a consistent basis. And I think the input leniency is way too strong in this game, man, because you have to hold down back to block, or you have to hold down to block, you hold back to block, down back to block, whatever your preference is. So if I'm trying to block with Superman and I'm holding down and back, when I go do a forward 2, it's going to reserve my input and I'm going to do my flying attack unless I'm very, very, very careful into releasing down first and then going into forward 2. I can't like have a smooth motion that feels natural. I have to like be very, very aware to not press forward immediately. And when it comes to fighting games, stuff like that, you know, even a few frames could mess you up and your opponent could have the advantage. So the input, like the way the game reserves inputs, I really don't like. And that is about it. Those are like the big dislikes for me. A couple other minor things. There's the stage where you're outside the movie theater. and it gets very, very dark. I don't like that at all, because there's characters that have mix-ups, right? So if you're playing versus Atrocitus or even Batman, someone like that, and you have like a dark shading, you're not going to be able to see the character. Even like Atrocitus does glow a little bit, but you really can't see him. And when it comes to, you know, 50-50s and getting caught into a combo for 40% because light is off and like the screen looks really, really dark, I don't know why that's there. I mean, visually it looks cool, right? Like, it's a good idea in theory, but when it comes to a fighting game and, you know, pretty much a couple frames determines whether you keep your 40% or lose your 40% with characters like Atrocitus or Superman, I really don't like that, to be honest with you guys. And one last thing, one last dislike. Keep in mind, I'm enjoying the hell out of Injustice 2. I really am. I'm like itching to play it right now. But I do have dislikes, of course, and I want the game to be better. So one last dislike is the damage counter. I really don't like that it's in hundreds. I prefer it to be the way even Injustice 1 was. I don't know why they changed it to be like hundreds and have the life bars be like 1,000. It doesn't make too much of a difference, to be honest, because it's really just, you know, you just count the first two numbers and that's how much damage your character does. It's like the regular number, but just visually, I don't like how it looks. I don't like the counter. I don't like that it says 500 damage when you do a 50% combo, or the way the damage ticks on your life bar. I really just don't like that. I like the way that it is in MKX and in the first Injustice. So I would be very interested to see why they made this change that, in my opinion, looks visually worse. But that is going to be the end of today's video, talking about the Injustice 2 beta, my opinions on it. I'm having a lot of fun with the game. I can't wait till they add more characters, because you know, Atrocitus and Supergirl, very, very fun in different playstyles. Batman, Superman, pretty much the same characters as the first Injustice, so it's a little repetitive with those two specific characters, but like I mentioned, Atrocitus, Supergirl, brand new, had so much fun learning how to play those two characters, and I can't wait till they add more characters that are brand new to Injustice 2. I know they're probably gonna add, you know, probably like Gorilla Grodd and Aquaman, or characters that's, you know, one character that's new and one returning. It's probably how they're gonna do it. Who knows how many they're gonna add, but just the fact that we do get to play Injustice 2, you know, months before it's out, I'm very appreciative of the guys at NetherRealm. But I do want to give a, you know, honest review, like my likes, my dislikes. You know, game looks amazing, but there are things that I do want improved. So there you guys have it. Your opinion is very important. Let me know what you guys think about all the stuff I mentioned in the comment section. This video is way too long, but when it comes to something that I'm very passionate about, like, you know, fighting games, especially NetherRealm fighting games, I just had to give it all out there. So let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys next time. What's going on, guys? It's Super here. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you guys subscribe or check out any of these videos linked at the top. Thank you, and I'll see you guys next time.